Hey guys, so it's been a little while since I filmed again. Just trying to get into a new routine is really hard, but this week I'm starting off the right way. I have no idea what we're going to do today. I have been thinking about what kind of like videos I want to film and stuff, and I kind of want to restart my zodiac series just because I feel like it was so choppy and changey. It's been going on for like 2 years now just because I haven't been like keeping consistent with it, and I kind of wanted to start a new series, so I think we're going to do that today. I am going to go back to doing like the zodiac series, but I think I want to do this series first, and I was actually thinking of doing like planets. So like looking at the planet and literally taking inspiration from what the planet looks like. So that's what my kind of thought process was. So like I want to do like just our solar system. So I was thinking of just pretty much going in order of like the sun to Pluto. Yeah, so it goes Mercury first. So if we look up Mercury, so if you look up Mercury planet, these are the sort of photos that come up. So you have some like black and white photos. I know that's not what Mercury actually looks like. It's more of like the kind of like colorful sort of thing. So I reckon we can take inspiration from like all three. So like the gray sort of color, as well as like this, as well as orange. So I reckon we can kind of incorporate all that into one look. So I guess first what I'm going to do is I'm just going to prime my eyelids. What I used to outline my eyebrows was the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Concealer. But to actually prime my eyelids, I'm going to use my Colourpop No Filter Concealer just because it's my favorite. Alright, so just taking a wet makeup sponge or beauty blender, whatever you guys have. Mine's just a makeup sponge from Kmart. I love mine. I think the Kmart ones are so good. So I've pulled out 3 palettes that I know have like the blues and the golds and everything in them. So yeah, that's the point of these series, to push me out of my comfort zone. So first palette I have is the Chi Chi OMFG palette. This is like the first one they did. I'm pretty sure they brought out a new one as like a volume 2 to it. Profusion Cosmetics Pro Eyes palette. So this has a blue in it there, as well as like a gold. And then I have the Jeffree Star Androgyny palette, which everyone knows that that's got like blues in it and that gold. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's probably going to be very shimmery as like it's like part of the stars and stuff. So I'm just going to take like a little blender brush, and I'm just taking the shade Sugar from the Profusions palette. It's just like a white. I'm just going to put that in the crease and up. So now that that's down, I am going to take a little bit of Dull, which is sort of like a neutral sort of warm brown sort of shade. I'm going to take it on another like round fluffy eye brush, and I'm just going to put that right in the crease, just so that when we add some colour, we have a colour to blend and sort of blend it into our skin a little bit better. I also don't care if it gets quite messy on the outer corner. Why I've done my eye makeup first. I much prefer to do it that way these days. So next I think I'm going to go in with Swallow from the Jeffree Star palette, just because it's kind of like the deepest blue I have, and I feel like it'll match this sort of blue. This is sort of like my colour inspo that I'm going for, so I feel like it'll just kind of match that blue. So I just want to take like a small brush like this. This one is, I think it's called the Expert Crease Brush by Real Techniques. I've had this brush for years, like all the writing's rubbed off. I'm just going to take Swallow on that brush, tap off all the excess, and I'm just going to focus this in the crease and on the outer corner, because I'm also going to use a shimmery blue just to add that shine back in, just because obviously it's a star, so you want some sparkle in there. And I'm going to do one eye on camera and one eye off of camera just to save more time, because this is obviously going to be a lot of work. Going to go back in with Dull, same brush I used with Dull, and just now buff out the edges of it. So I'm going to take my Colourpop concealer, just taking it on a small paddle brush, and I'm just going to... Now I'm going to take another sort of paddle brush, and I'm going to go into... I think I'm actually going to go into a mixture of both of these colours just to make the colour that I want. So I'm only doing this colour on like the inner sort of third, because I want to blend a lighter blue into this, but I want to put a lighter blue, and then I'm going to put a metallic-y sort of dark blue on the edge. Now I'm going to go back into the OMFG palette, another small paddle brush into this colour here, and then I'm just going to put that So I'm just going to add that to there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull this colour onto the yellow. slash orange that we've made. Like these are two hard colours to blend together, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to overlap it a little and then go back in with the other brush, not adding any more product, and just pull it over the blue. And just keep doing that until I'm happy with how it's blended. So now we're looking something like that. I don't mind if it does look a little bit like harsh, just because in those photos you could see it was quite harsh. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Swallow and the same brush we were using it on, and I'm just going to cover that patch and sort of just cover the outer corner. I'm just going to go in with my finger into the shade called Sparkler from the Profusions palette, and I'm just going to pat it on top of that and overlap that blue. And as you can see, the very outer corner is still quite matte, which is how I want it. If you don't like how shiny it is there, or you apply too much, just take Swallow or the matte dark blue shade you're using and just touch it up. I'm going to do a smoky eyeliner. So I want like dark browns and stuff like that. So I'm going to take like a winged brush like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shade Vibes, and I'm just going to do a winged liner, and then I'm going to go over it with black later on. And I'm going to keep this quite close to the lash line, as close as I can. So I'm trying to not add too much to the inner corner, just because I don't want it to be too thick there. And I'm just doing stamping motions because I don't want to over blend it and cover up all the other work we've done. Now I'm not too worried about it looking sharp out there, because like I said, number one, we can clean it up when we do our foundation, and I'm also going to add actual black eyeliner on top just to make it more intense. So something like that for now. So now what I'm going to do is liner and lashes. So I can smoke it out a little better, I'm actually going to use gel liner just to help me smoke it out a little bit. And I'm going to use a liner brush like this. If you didn't want to use water, or you can't be bothered to go and get water, you can always just use setting spray just to wet your brush a little bit. It just helps with gel eyeliners to make them go on smoother. Just helps to sort of wet the product down and just makes your life a tiny bit easier when trying to work with it. So that's what I'm doing with my liner. Now I'm going to go back in with Vibes and just smoke out that top line again. So I'm not really worrying about touching the bottom or like closer to the lash line. I don't care about that. I want that to be quite dark, as well as the inner corner. But the top of the liner, I definitely want to be a little bit smoked out, as you can see. So that's the type of look we're kind of going for. Now I'm going to apply mascara and lashes. For mascara that I'm going to use today, I'm going to use my Rimmel Scandaleyes Wow Wings mascara. I'm just taking the excess off the brush, because there's always way too much on this brush. It's the one thing that I hate. Sorry, wand. And I'm just going to apply this just to my top lashes for now. Just a nice coat of mascara, nothing too intense. You could obviously leave it like this if you wanted, but I'm going to add falsies just because I love adding falsies, and I just think it'll look really nice with this look. So these ones are very thick and voluminous, like as you can see, but they've also got little like wispy bits at the end. These are the BYS double lashes in the style Wicked Lash. I've worn these ones before and they're very intense. And they're not really the style that I go for very often, but they are lovely lashes. So I'm just going to pop these on. The lash tweezers I'm using are these ones by Revlon. I got them in like a lash kit ages ago and they're absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do is the lash glue I'm using is from Kiss. It's just like a paint on one. I'm pretty sure it's a latex free one. It's got aloe vera in it, so it's kind of really soothing. But I haven't found a lash glue that sticks better than this. That is latex free, and this is also from like drugstore, so it's pretty cheap. This is what it looks like. I love it. It's my favorite lash glue. I just take the lash in my tweezers like this, so like along the lash band, and then I'm just going to apply this as close to my lash line as possible. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the lash tweezer, just going to clip the eyelashes together. That just helps them sit more against my natural lashes. As you can see, this one's not on right in the center. I will fix it, I promise. So I'm going to do the other eye off of camera and I'll be right back. So both eyes are done. I also filled in my eyebrows off of camera and I just primed using my Hangover primer, my Too Faced Hangover primer. In my brows, I literally only filled it in with the Colourpop pencil. So what I'm going to do now is I'm obviously going to do my foundation, and I think I'm going to actually use my Colourpop one because I've gotten a bit of a tan. So I'm just going to shake it and just... I like to squirt it straight onto my face just because I'm lazy and I like less cleanup. I'm going to use my sponge to blend this out. So I'm just going to take another bit on my forehead and I'm just going to also spread that around and add some more over here. So I'm just going to take a little bit more directly on my sponge and just dot it around my neck. And I'm coming right down here just because that's where sort of like the colour difference is. So now I'm going to take my Colourpop No Filter Concealer in the shade Light 10. Oh, by the way, this is the Colourpop No Filter Foundation in the shade Light 60. So I'm just going to deep clean most of the outer corner up before I applied my, before I started applying my foundation or anything like that. I'm not a massive fan of this brush, it feels really scratchy, but I'm going to use it anyway. To set underneath my eyes first though, I am going to take the Colourpop No Filter Setting Powder. I'm going to take the, this doesn't have a name, it's from the same kit as the other crown brush that I was using. So I'm just going to stamp that underneath my eyes and I'm going to make sure I really put a lot on there just because it is hot. I'm going to get stuff all over my shirt. Yeah, just doing that because it is very hot. So I just want to make sure that it's set, not going to budge during sweating for the day and all that stuff. I'm also going to use this powder on my nose. And I'm taking my Australis Fresh and Flawless Press Powder in the shade Natural. I'm just going to stamp that everywhere. And then down the neck as well. So I'm now going to bronze and contour and highlight and blush. For bronzer I'm going to use my Australis AC On Tour Contouring and Highlighting Kit. I'm going to take shade number 6 just because I really like this shade for bronzing. Just going to hit my entire cheekbones. So I'm also going to hit my forehead just to add some colour back. Not really to like shorten my fringe or anything, like shorten my forehead or anything. This is just purely to add colour, just to make it look like I've been out in the sun. I'm just going to hit the nose very lightly. So yeah, just going to hit the nose very lightly because I don't want to disrupt all that makeup. For contour I'm going to use the Tarte Hamptons Weekender Contour Palette. I'm going to take sort of like a angled squash face brush and just going to take Farmer's Market, it's the bronzer contour shade, and just hit underneath the cheekbones. And I'm just going to hit the sides of my nose with a smaller brush actually. I'm going to proper contour my nose. Again, I try to do this very lightly just because of I've been having a lot of problems with separation. So I just try to, anything I touch on my nose I try not to be too rough about it. And I try to be very soft and gentle when blending things out, especially because like I'm sweating in this area just here and I do develop a lot of oil there. So also with that brush and that colour, just applying that into my temples because I do like to look quite chiseled here, and I am making sure to blend it up into my forehead a little bit. So now I'm going to do some blush. And to be honest, I'm going to use the colour out of this just because I think it'll complement it really nicely. Just a very light hand, so I'm just literally going to go tap and dust it all off. And just hit just above the apples of my cheeks and back onto my cheekbones. Then for highlighter, I think I'm going to go with my really intense Colourpop one. I'm going to use Lunch Money by Colourpop. It's one of the Super Shock Cheek Pearlized highlighters, and I just dinged it with my nail, didn't I? So I'm just going to really load it up on this brush. This is the Crown C529. I really like this for highlighting. My skin's really bad, so please ignore the texture that I'm going to get from highlighting. So, and now just taking a small amount just above my eyebrow and up. And just above my eyebrow and up. I'm going to take the brown shade we used in our crease, dull, and I'm just going to blend that first. Just to add something, I don't want it too intense. Obviously we have a lot going on, so we don't want to make it too overpowering. Then I'm going in with Swallow from the Androgyny palette, just a little bit. I'm just going to run that as close to the lash line as possible. Just a small amount like that. I don't want too much. And then if I have overblended a little bit, just go back in with the brush we used Doll on. Just blend out the edges. And then one final thing I want to do is just add a little bit of black to my waterline, just to make it a little bit darker and deeper. So I'm taking this smudge stick from Skin. First, actually, before I set my eyebrows, I'm actually going to take this colour from the OMFG palette and just highlight my brow bone. So I'm just going to take the very yellow gold. I'm not going to take a mixture, just the very yellow gold. And I'm just going to use that to highlight my brow bone. And I'm also going to use that to highlight the inner corner. And then I'm going to set my eyebrow hairs in place using the Maybelline Brow Drama in the shade Dark Brown. And then I'm going to, I don't know what colour I want to do on the lips. That's the issue. I think I'm going to do a mixture of these two, just because I think that'll look really nice. So I'm going to first take the Stay Satin Liquid Lip Colour by Rimmel in the shade Yuppie 130. This is like my favourite lipstick. I wore it for ages. You guys, like anyone who's been watching me for like the past year will know. I just think this colour is going to be a bit too warm. So I'm going to cool it down with the other colour. And then just to cool it down, because I just think it is a little bit too warm, I'm going in with the Maybelline New York Vivid Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade 02 Grey Envy. And I'm just wiping off a lot of the excess. I'm just going to apply it on top. And then I'm going to just rub my lips together. And that definitely looks a lot better. It's definitely just toned it down a little bit just to kind of go with all the other colours. Now I'm going to spray my face. And I'm going to use my Glam Glow Setter. And I'm just going to that was very close to my face. Okay, so that's the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, I just thought this would be like a really fun sort of creative, different thing to do. I've never seen anyone kind of do a series like this. Like, I've seen a few people do like zodiac series, and I've seen a few people do like gemstones and like drinks and like cocktails and stuff. And you know what? I kind of want to do that later on. But I just wanted to do something a little bit different that I haven't seen anyone else do. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I think I did pretty well. Like, I probably could have gone with more of like a big bluey purple sort of colour. It's not kind of translating the same on camera like the picture, but I think I did pretty well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell, and don't forget to like this video if you did enjoy it. And all of my social medias will be linked on the screen and in the down box and in the description box down below. Make sure you follow them so you know when I'm filming and when videos are going to come up, and you'll always be notified on there. And if you turn on the bells, you'll be notified on YouTube. But I always put sneak peeks up on my Instagram of like when I filmed a video and what's coming and stuff like that. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye. Mwah.
I wonder what went wrong today. Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember.